act against the Quran, which says if you do that,
but
you are committing an act against the whole of humanity.
Isn't this paradoxical that on the one hand we are saying keep religion out of it? On the other hand, we actually do need our religious clergy, in a sense, as we did with this fatwa, to sort of restore the perspective about Islam.
Every job, I won't call it a job, but whether it's a religion, whether it's any other aspect of life, specialists have to be there. And I truly believe the clergy, the ulemas, the mullahs, they're all these specialists.
You don't think they're the fringes as
No, I don't think so. I don't think you cannot even, I don't think you can ignore them. Yeah. I just think it's very important that this whole culture for every religion, the guys who know it the best need to be there. We need to understand, maybe more than we need to understand, they need to explain it in a way which is understandable. Yes. And I truly believe, like if you were to ask me personally, like you asked, okay, why do we talk about a religious identity? Whether I don't have a choice now. This is what I'm born as. And I love being born as a Muslim.
You do have a choice, sir.
No, I mean, I didn't have
I had a choice and I gave it up at the age of 18 when I could vote.
No, absolutely. I make the choice. I had it. I've made it. And I want to be Muslim. And I'm very proud to be one. Now I am letting my children know about the religion. I think I know the best in the most understandable, nice manner. And inshallah, they will also be Muslims. But I'm not going to teach them perhaps the clergy very strict way of Islam. I will teach them the way I think.
Not a puritanical interpretation.
Absolutely. So I'm going to teach it to them like this.
Okay, I need to take a quick break, but this young girl's been trying to make a point for a long time.
Yeah, actually, this is a real-life incident that happened in class. Now, this girl, she just stands up and she says that, why do you differentiate? What if a mother has a good child and a bad boy? Now, who would you really, would the mother really say, do away with the bad son? Or would she train him to become a good guy? And, you know, indirectly, in an end, she was identifying the bad guy for a Muslim, to be a Muslim, and the good boy to be a Hindu, which was very surprising, and she didn't really realize it, she being a Muslim herself.
All right, so there's you want to say something?
I want to know that the definition of Islam and Muslim keeps on changing from person to person, or with the same one definition of Islam and Muslim? Is there any source or authentic source to know what is the right definition of Islam and Muslim?
But is there so you want to take that before I take a break? We all interpret faith in a very private way.
I believe so. And I haven't had a secular upbringing, and I've read the Bible, and I've read parts of the Gita and parts of the Quran, and I think that ultimately it is between, as I said earlier, God and yourself and your personal private relationship with Him, and only He will judge whether you are a good anything.
All right, we'll take a quick break. In our last segment, what does our panel believe is at the heart of the minority debate? What disturbed Karan so much, aside from that conversation in New York, that this is a theme that seems to resurface in a lot of your work? What is simmering under the surface? We'll take a look at that in final comments after the break. Welcome back to We the People. In this last segment, what is at the heart of the debate around the minority identity in India? It seems to be an abiding theme more recently in the Indian film industry. Why is that? What do they believe is the central crisis? Before we get final comments from our panelists, let's hear some voices from the audience.
There is a question about why we focus on the lunatic fringe as such, and that most of them do not, in fact, and I agree, most of them do not turn to terrorism for anything to do with religion. But sadly, the ones who are turning to terrorism are using religion as their cloak. Your religion is being used falsely. Somewhere can we say that you have a duty to defend it?
Definitely the moderate voice, or so-called moderate voice, should speak up. Now the problem is that the moderates are so frittered away and they're so sort of blasé about things. They don't have a platform. And frankly, we don't get that much space on the media as the lunatics get.
और जिनको आप extremist समझते हैं, वो आकर के खड़े होकर लड़ रहे हैं, है ना?
How much access do Muslims have in a routine corporate world and all that? Like when a CV comes in front of you, does a corporate take a pause, like the person sitting in that hot seat, to give a job and all that? So,
Shahrukh, quick comment from you, because we've had some people from the film industry spoken about it is difficult to get a house for a Muslim in Mumbai. You said you've never really experienced any real prejudice. But do you know people who have?
I wouldn't know, and I can just, because I think I should just joke about this. I went, that's why I didn't go looking for a flat. I thought I'll just buy a whole building. But I'd be very honest about this whole thing. I think कहीं पे कभी कभार ऐसा issue हर चीज में, चाहे आप हिंदू हैं, चाहे मुसलमान हैं, vegetarian हैं, non-veg हैं, ये problems होती हैं. I think we should just try to contain it a little and not make it an issue. हर religion के अंदर fundamentalists can mislead youth. by giving this garb of this opium. They say religion is the opiate of the masses. You can convince anyone कि ऐसा होगा, आप चलिए. Good oratorship. Young people who don't have a job easily misled by Islamic fundamentalist or Hindu fundamentalist, or if there is something as a Christian fundamentalist.
All right.
I'm a big fan of yours, but Qurban, I think it used sensationalism and sort of making the terrorist a hero. It made me feel like I was supposed to like Saif Ali Khan at the end of it. I mean, that's not right.
We never wanted you to like or dislike. We were going through the beats of a character. And actually, there was a lot of negativity that we got, and we were saying that we were succumbing to stereotyping as well, which was never the case, never the intention.
I completely disagree with the film Qurban, and I've told him so.
No, but what disturbed you about Qurban?
I just felt there was a group of people in hijab, with a dadi, with a skull cap. Everybody was bad. I did not see one good person. ऐसे कहाँ पर होता है? This is the image sometimes we have of the fringe Muslim groups, and I don't think we should in any which way. I mean, ये तो picture है. I also don't take
possibly
the
it was not our
propagation of
intention,
this,
and it went.
maybe. I mean, I'm all for making whatever kind of film you want to and putting it out there.
Absolutely.
I'm against censorship, but maybe as a society we're not ready for it, and we require some kind of sensitive filmmaking. Or
Really has to be the last question.
Why are people just looking at the people who are killing other people for jihad? I'm going through jihad. There are 50 people asking me that you're a Muslim, you pray. I said, yes, I pray. So they're like, what are your views about the Taliban? I'm striving, I'm struggling myself, explaining to them. And why don't the people portray the good side of jihad? What I'm doing, what he's doing, what everyone is doing.
I have to take last comments, and let me start with you, Dr. Naik.
The Muslim should know how to reply to the misconception about Islam. Today, if you analyze the media, for example, just about more than a week back, you found in the headlines that there was a bomb in Pune, about 19 people were killed, suspects Muslim. Same time, there were about 16 policemen killed,
That was
killed
also
by
a
the mob.
headline.
It came
That
as
was
news
also
brief.
a headline.
Why are we saying Muslims killing? So the others are Maoists, the others are, some other organization, but the Muslims are a religious grouping. It's weird. Why don't we say, whatever those people are? I mean, why do we always have to divide it in?
Yet, Madani Saab, you felt the need to use the Deoband to do that fatwa against terrorism. कहाँ से आया वो fatwa? क्यों आया?
जब ये नहीं खड़े हो रहे थे
आपने पूछा नहीं क्या?
नहीं, पर
जब
बोले
ये नहीं खड़े हुए, लोग नहीं खड़े हो रहे थे. आज भी यही पोजीशन है कि इस्लाम के नाम पर जिहादी तहरीक चलाने की बाहर से कुछ कोशिशें हो रही. हमने कहा ये जिहादी नहीं है, फसादी है.
Reason to ask why that fatwa was launched was exactly that. And the idea was remove the word Islamic from terrorism. There are terrorisms by people who are practicing a non-Islamic action. That was the thing. And I'd just like to say one thing, since it's the last chance. When Indira Gandhi was assassinated, I was so upset, I wrote just a few lines, which I'd like you to have. It said, I am an Indian, not because I am a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian or a Sikh. I am an Indian because if I am not, who am I?
Najib, last thoughts?
Ghalib has said, हम कहाँ के दाना थे, दाना comes from दानिशमंद, intellectual, हम कहाँ के दाना थे, किस हुनर में यकता थे, बेसबब हुआ जा गालिब, दुश्मन आसमां अपना.
Soha?
I think I have a number of identities as someone who lives in Bombay. I happen to be Muslim. I am an Indian. And I think that my aspirations have nothing to do with my religion or my faith. I mean, I want a big house. I want to get married. I want a family. I want to be successful. And that's who I am.
Karan?
I've always felt very strongly, and I feel strongly because it comes from a space of understanding around me. I'm not saying a film can change a mind space, it can't change the mental makeup of this country, but if you can go back home and question your beliefs about a community, then I think maybe I've serviced cinema in some way.
I personally feel as a Muslim, I'd like to tell every Muslim that if you don't know your religion well enough, if you're not able to practice it well enough, if your knowledge is less, Allah Ta'ala aapko maaf kar denge. Lekin being a Muslim, if you are not able to explain your religion to the other people who are not understanding it, ये दुनिया आपको माफ नहीं करेगी. You need to be very, very clear that we cannot take this stand कि अगर आप समझते नहीं मत समझो मैं तो लड़ूंगा. नहीं. Acceptance of this and explaining is what I think in the long run will sort out the problem.
Well, I think it's fair to say, where we started, that there is a crisis, but I think to hear all of you today, you may not agree on everything, but you agree on a lot of basic core things at the heart of it. And one is, I think as Kabir said, that terrorism doesn't have a religion. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche worth repeating. And two, I think we're seeing shades in many experiments in cinema, in many things that people are willing to come out and say, of a more honest engagement with religion and all the questions it raises. Thank you so much, all of you, with leaving us with so much food for thought.